Hello everyone and welcome back to round 23 of Season 3 of our F124 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here in Lusail for the Qatar Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live towards the end of last week from Vegas, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. I think, honestly, that race sums up F124 perfectly in just what this game has been like this year. We have wrapped up the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship, despite the fact that we got a DNF in Vegas. Yes, we had another mechanical failure, my fourth one in 5 Grand Prix in recent times, but with Fernando Alonso finishing down in P8, it meant that, despite the fact we were sat in the garage pretty annoyed with the team, we are now officially Formula 1 World Champion with 2 rounds to spare. Now, I still want to try and get another win on the board between now and the end of the campaign. I don't want Imola to be my last win with 6 second places coming since then. But, you know, we're going to stick to traditions on the channel. Obviously, now the World Championship has been wrapped up, I'm going to do some last question mark challenges to finish off the campaign. Of course, a massive thank you to everybody that has stuck by with this series as well. As I've said, I'm going to try and change it up. I think we're going to do a salvaging Sauber career mode to finish F124 on this channel as well as a bit of fun. Get yourself subscribed though. We're trying to hit 6k subs on the channel right now as well. And yeah, let's head out then into Qatar. We've got 2 opportunities from the back of the field here today. I want to try and do a last to first challenge.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. 3.3 miles, 16 turns with a single DRS zone at the exit of turn 16. It is a fast and flowing track with plenty of overtaking expected through the DRS zone down into turn 1. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Russell, Joe, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Albon, Stroll, Gasly, Ricciardo, Ocon, Tsunoda, Sargent, Teo Porcher, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Hauger, and Mr. Monaco. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Back of the grid, not great, I know, but let's just try and use the first lap to push your way up the order.
Well, Mark clearly wants me to go aggressive lap 1. You know, we have got nothing left to play for. We've already wrapped up both championships, so we can really just go out there, take risk, and enjoy ourselves as well. But, as always, we'll use the sprint as a bit more kind of guidance ready for the main event as well, just so we know how the tyres are handling and everything like that. But honestly, I'm feeling a little bit confident for this one. Qatar is a track that I seem to go really well at inside F124. Hopefully the same could be said today. It's 5 red lights, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go there. We won't try and go too aggressive in towards turn 1. We'll wait and see as to kind of where everybody else goes in through that first corner, and maybe then we'll just try and cut underneath. Oh, look at that on the exit of the corner. We'll get 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 positions, maybe even 5 or 6. There's 3 wide on the exit of turn 2 there. I think that was Tsunoda getting a little bit squeezed out between myself and Sargent up in towards the middle sector. So we'll just try and go side by side with the Williams car as well then. So, yeah, that was not a bad little start, up 6 places on lap 1. See Alonso too little too late now, but he has moved up into the lead of the Grand Prix. It's been a while since we've seen him take any race victories this season. It's just been such a wide open campaign, it feels like, throughout most of this championship. You know, it has literally just been that we've been so much more consistent than pretty much everybody else that, you know, by the time we got towards the end of the year and we started having mechanical issues, we had such a big lead in the World Championship anyway, that it hasn't ended up mattering there. But Daniel Ricciardo just trying to defend from us as we make our way in through these final couple of corners. We've definitely got the downforce numbers we need through there. That might come to compromise those straight line speed back in towards turn 1 there, but you can see the slingshot we can get off of that final corner, tucked up under the rear wing of the Australian.
and in the DRS zone.
Oh, we really don't have any kind of top-end speed, and as you can just see there, we pulled alongside Ricciardo and kind of lacked the out-and-out pace to get fully round him. We are a bit more confident though on the brakes, so 7 places gained in the early stages. Of course, behind me there is still quite a lot of battling going on in the World Championship. Alonso, Leclerc and our teammate Sergio Perez all still with a shot. As we go, oh, it's Alonso! Fernando Alonso breaking down then, so well, that would have taken him out of the World Championship anyway. But Alonso, our first retirement of the afternoon, so disappointment for him and Aston Martin. So we try and have a look around the outside of his former teammate in Esteban Ocon. So we've got no straight line speed, but the cornering ability of this car this weekend. I'm running pretty much Monaco levels of downforce here. It's working. The only problem I have with Qatar, it's such a fun track to do laps on and everything else. Problem is, there's not really anywhere apart from the run down towards Turn 1 that you can tend to make overtakes on inside this game, because there is such a dependency kind of on that slipstream in the DRS. We're going to try and look for moves wherever possible anyway. Is Gasly... Oh, I'm running very, very wide on the exit of the corner. We almost launched into the back of him. We should be able to get a run back in towards Turn 1.
3 seconds.
So we've already made up 10 places then early on as we've got more yellow flags out. Is that just Alonso's stricken car? Yes, it still is. Yeah, it can't be another... Oh no, that's Lance Stroll, isn't it? Lance Stroll in our Red Bull still is unbelievably cursed. Well, it seems to have been a similar story between this and our normal driver career mode over on the main channel, but Red Bull just absolutely fall off as you make your way through more and more seasons inside F1 24, and, well, I think if hiring Lance Stroll was meant to be kind of their fix for that, it hasn't really worked.
Really good stuff.
As here we go, Albon making a move on Max Verstappen, of course, former teammates down at Red Bull as well. As Lance there tries to keep the nose up our inside. I mean, we're almost back into the points already. More yellows, we've got more yellows. I think that's a car behind us then, dropping to the wayside as well. Not too sure who that is, can't see on my mini-map at the moment. Yuki Tsunoda then at the Grand Prix, so yeah, disappointment for Yuki on what has been a fairly quiet campaign. Well, if you told Williams and Red Bull that they'd be fighting with each other, I wonder which one of them would feel more happy about it. Anyway, whoa! Verstappen there, he thought about trying to go one way on Alex Albon, decided to go the other. Again, we have to kind of take evasive action from the AI's erratic driving, but a double overtake then, 2 for the price of 1. There's a little bit of a gap up to Hamilton in front, but ultimately, yeah, when we're in clean air, this car just gets even faster. Well, we've pretty much got a 10-car train then from the front of the field down to myself and Max Verstappen at the back of this group that are all now trying to fight for the victory here. I mean, again, just the DRS trains in F1 24 really do kind of make the racing all go down one way. As well, Perez there tries to have a look to the inside of the McLaren at Turn 1. Not quite able to make that one work against Lando Norris. So he tried to have a look around another one of the British drivers, Lewis Hamilton. Not quite able to that time. Time is slowly running out there. Only 2 laps left after this one. Whoa! Hamilton way earlier on the brakes than I expected down at the hairpin. And although I said earlier on it's quite difficult to make overtakes anywhere that isn't Turn 1 around this circuit, a little bit of an aggressive one. Hamilton's not going to give up though, tries to hook it up around the outside.
Good job, nice overtake.
But yeah, just a little bit earlier than I was expecting on the brakes into that hairpin. The Constantina effect is real. Why everybody is just trying to line up on moves on the cars in front of them there. Oscar Piastri, I thought he was going to get a run on Charles Leclerc back in towards Turn 1. Perez has made the move happen though on Lando Norris again. Let's look at that. Zhou Guanyu's running up there in P4. I'm trying to think. It's definitely happened, but I don't think very often that we see Zhou get a podium with Aston Martin this season. But it certainly has been a good move for him in his Formula 1 career, because Sauber is still absolutely terrible here. As why can't the AI now get the power down off of their hairpin? That was really odd. Oscar Piastri there tried to go for a bit of a late lunge back on me. But yeah, he just really seemed to struggle.
Okay, I've got information on Zhou for you. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
But as soon as we start trying to hype up Zhou Guanyu late on in the race, he's going to get absolutely screwed over by the RNG. That might mean, though, he drops out of the range of those cars in front of him here, and that might leave myself and both Ferraris with an opportunity with just over 1 lap to go. I mean, look at that. It's still almost flat out the penultimate corner of this circuit here. But yeah, you just see Zhou now starting to struggle. So everybody's going to be looking for a way around him. Back in towards turn 1 there. There goes Carlos Sainz to one side of him. Will Charles Leclerc be able to get the run as well? I think Leclerc just trying to hang on. As Zhou there will just like keep it alongside. Oh, Leclerc as well, just able to get the power down off of turn 2, but just see there trying to look this way and that to get a run on the Ferrari. We will now get to the inside as we make our way up the hill, but Sainz already pulling away from Zhou Guanyu. We cannot afford to spend time behind the Aston Martin. To the inside we'll go, and trying to make moves late on in the day. Just see there, Zhou though actually comes back at me on the exit of the corner, so still trying to go wheel to wheel with him to make our way in through the middle sector. Lando Norris with all of that going on is retaking the lead of the Grand Prix away from Sergio Perez. So it might be Lando who claims victory in the Saturday sprint race here, but a frantic 10 laps, an incredibly frantic 10 laps to kickstart the rest of the weekend here. That's exactly what we want to see in Losail, the sprint racing. Everybody trying to maximise their results. And in towards the final couple of corners then, Lando Norris, it is going to be victory for McLaren here on Saturday night. But in 10 laps, we made up 17 places. Last a P5. I'll take it. Well, there we go then. Lando Norris takes the victory in the sprint, just half a second clear of Checo Perez come the checkered flag. So both myself and Sergio still looking to try and get another win on the board before the end of what has been a highly successful campaign. Zhou Guanyu did just hold off Charles Leclerc towards the end of the race ahead of Oscar Piastri when all is said and done. And yeah, Alonso and Tsunoda, who both failed to see the checkered flag in that one. But that was very good going. I had a lot of fun during the sprint. Hopefully we'll get more battles as we head into the main event. We know we have got a car that is very, very fast.
Welcome back to Qatar. We had a year off due to a small footballing tournament in 2022, but it's back to Formula One right now. The Sail International was built for 2 wheels, but today we race on 4. It's a fast, flowing track, 3.3 miles, 16 turns, just the one DRS zone, but it is a long straight, and you can expect overtaking. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Zhou, Verstappen, Perez, Norris, Russell, Stroll, Ocon, Ricciardo, Albon, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Sargent, Teo Porcher, Hauger, Mr. Monaco, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, and Yuki Tsunoda. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And so we welcome you to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this race, and it's going to be some race, is Anthony Davidson. Well, they say you're only as good as your last race. And on evidence there, that was very good indeed. How do they carry that form through to today?
You've done it once, can you do it again? But, you know, if you start believing in yourself and the confidence starts to build, that inner confidence is what you need. And you can carry that through to future races, including this one, and you set that ball rolling. That's the critical thing that they're looking for here. And I believe if you've got that first race win or a win at any stage, it can start to roll with you in a good way.
Well, here we are then down on the grid, ready for the main event here in Qatar. 29 more laps ahead of us here. And it's safe to say I think things are going to get very, very exciting. I'm going to try and go long on the hard compounded tyre early on. Hopefully that will work. As long as we don't get an early safety car, we should be all right. My goal is to try and be as fast as we can towards the end of the GP. We've actually gained 3 spots as well by virtue of some other cars taking some grid penalties as well. We're waiting on the grid though. 5 red lights here in Losail. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go then, off to a pretty mediocre start. Actually quite a bad one in the end. Of course, helped along for everybody else with that slightly softer compounded tyre. And immediately in turn 1, we will spot an avenue around the outside there and try not to run into the back of Dennis Hauger as well. So Teo Porcher, they're getting a little squeezed out through the exit turn 2. Again, though, we will try and give some of these guys a bit of a wide berth early on. Try and go down the middle of Porcher and Hauger. And, well, Dennis clearly doesn't get to fight many people in this series, being in that Sauber car, but will try and defend from myself early on. So we still gain 2 places, though, off the start, unlike the sprint, which of course is going to be about trying to make as many moves as we can, as fast as we can. This one is going to have to be more of a race that comes to us as the afternoon goes on, so fingers crossed we can keep it fairly clean and tidy. And yeah, Ferrari 1 and 3 right at the front of the order. I can already see a bit of a gap opening up. I believe about 7 cars have broken free there, so I would assume it's Hamilton that is just a little bit further back. But yeah, that's been a pretty okay start. You know, we'll take it. Rare to see Sargent ahead of Alex Albon in this game, but we will try and make ourselves the meat in a Williams sandwich. Hello? Albon there clearly didn't want to give me any room around his outside. I think we were ahead at the apex. But Alex Albon, I mean, look at this, trying to defend as far as he can. I'm going to try and force the error even more back in towards turn 1 there. This is very aggressive racing. As I think Dennis Hauger as well tried to get involved on the exit, but that's got to be the feistiest I think I've ever seen Alex Albon behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car, and I love it. Well, let's see then if Logan Sargent is going to try and defend from me as aggressively as his teammate did. We'll try and have a look to the inside of the American there, and well, we'll make sure we give him some racing room on the outside of that final corner. Wheel to wheel will go then back in towards turn 1. Just see, look how good that Williams is in a straight line right up towards the top end. Luckily, we've got a bit more confidence on the brakes, so yeah, as good as that car is, it's certainly not fast enough. There we go then, Nico Hülkenberg. How on earth he's kept in the DRS of Pierre Gasly in front, I don't quite know, because I'm adamant the gap was larger than a second when we went through the detection point, but round the outside we'll go of yet another one then. We're not making as quick progress as we did in the sprint, but considering we're on the harder tyre, we're definitely still doing well. Oh, but Pierre Gasly then just seems to be losing touch with the likes of Lance Stroll and Co in front of him, and well, Renault Power Unit versus Renault Power Unit. Hopefully it will swing in our favour. We've definitely had a better car than the factory team throughout the entirety of this season. Going to be a shame, obviously, with Renault obviously leaving the sport as an engine supplier down the line, because it's always kind of been the one I've gone with for these series, just because it's like the most realistic one you'd end up with. What engine are we going to use for my team in the future? Ricciardo having a pretty good night of things so far early on. That V-Carb hasn't always been competitive in the second half of the campaign. I really hoped that we were going to have like a Yuki Tsunoda story arc in this series, but it hasn't quite happened the way I wanted it to there, as trying to defend from Esteban Ocon through turn 1 and turn 2. Brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing between the pair of them. Stroll and I wheel-to-wheel just behind, and we try and get a run up in towards turn 4. We're going to make it 3 wide into the corner, and I think both Esteban and Daniel Ricciardo weren't expecting that one, but like I said in the intro, we've got nothing to lose today. We can afford to take that gamble. If it doesn't pay off, then it doesn't pay off. But the last few laps have really just been about trying to get into a rhythm, just keep maintaining the momentum, and wait for all these medium compound runners for their tyres just to start falling off a little bit towards the end of the stint. I mean, after all the frantic racing, both in the sprint and at the start of the Grand Prix, it's been quite nice just to get a few laps just to drive and enjoy the car without having to battle anybody else. But yeah, this kind of top group, though, is kind of split out into 2 now. So Russell, Norris, Piastri and Verstappen are all potentially going to be under pressure before they dive into the pit lane. But yeah, that group in front, though, should be a little bit more safe for now. As around the outside, Orlando will try and go. Just using the curbing a little bit on the exit turn 1. We will try and squeeze him out there, as Lando will do the same through turn 2. Therefore, I think it's all fair in this battle at the moment. Up in towards turn 4 will go. Lando! Similar to what Alex Albon even tried to do earlier on. Just giving me a little bit too much of a squeeze. And as much as I'm willing to give them room, I'm not just going to jump out of the way. That's not how you win world championships in Formula 1. Not too sure what's happened to Perez for him to drop back so badly in the last couple of laps. As here goes Guan Yu trying to have a look past him. We are trying to have a look for a move on Verstappen. As Perez, he's already lost 2 places. He might make it 3 and 4. So he's going to get sandwiched in towards turn 1. Surely Checo's got problems. I have never seen a car sink that fast down one single straightaway on this game. And well, once again then, I think one of our cars with reliability issues. Sergio Perez went and lost 5 places on the front straight. And he's about to lose a 6th there to Lando Norris. Well, he's definitely got mechanical issues. There was no front wing damage I could see on that car. So I think, yeah, it's one of those, just the ones that Mark reports on the radio. But surely we're going to see cars diving into the pit lane then at the end of this lap. What that's also done is really screwed over Lando Norris, because he has dropped way behind this rest of this group. There's Zhou in, Verstappen in, Hamilton and Leclerc both in as well. Sergio Perez, of course, luckily doesn't have to worry about when I'm going to pit, because we are going to extend this stint a little bit longer. Around the outside of Russell then, and for the first time this weekend, up into the podium places. Carlos Sainz now with a bit of breathing room in P1. Or Carlos Sainz then, just losing a little bit of time over the course of this lap to both Oscar and myself. So I think Oscar Piastri, of course, won the sprint race here in 2023. He is looking very racy. As everybody else then cycling their way through. I thought for a split second then that Lance Stroll had already boxed and was going to be out in the lead of the Grand Prix. But I'm going to extend this stint at least a little bit further. What's the tyre out? Only 40%. We could actually try and go to the soft compound tyre to the end of the GP. But we'd have to get past lap 20. Oh, we've got yellows. I believe that is a V-carb then. I think that might be... Don't say it's Sonoda again. That's out of both races this weekend. I think it might be. Oh no, he's diving into the pit lane then, so that might have just been a puncture. That's the other thing I've got to be careful of. For 12 laps to go, we could still definitely have a mechanical failure, especially as nobody else has broken down yet. Oh no. Oh. Oh.
Okay, we have a problem with ERS. We have a problem with the ERS.
That was scary. Oh no, ERS? Wait, that's DRS that reckons it's failed. I think Mark's just misspoke there, because the ERS is fine. How unreliable is this car when Mark doesn't even know what the issue is with it anymore? Dive into the pits then at the end of lap 20 here. Lewis Hamilton, though, he's taken about a second out of me since he went through the pits. The only issue I've got is that without DRS, we're going to really, really struggle towards the end of the afternoon. So hoping that the team can get that back online as soon as possible. But like I keep saying, you know, we've got nothing to lose. We may as well try and take these risks. I'd rather be much quicker than the AI for a few laps, rather than a bit quicker than them for a few more laps, I guess. Make sure we don't get done for speeding on the way into the pit lane there, as Leclerc now up into P2. I think we'll come back out of the back of this train of cars, though. Disappointed to see Perez again. Has just absolutely fallen away from the rest of the order here, but set of soft compound tyres going on then to the end of the race. We've got to try and do 9 laps on them. But yeah, the pit lane here, such a long pit lane on this game. I mean, why can't I just go now? Come on, we have got such a jump on everybody.
The white line on the exit will receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
In terms of positioning coming back out, we've still got to try and get some heat into the tyres, but that could not have worked out much better for me if I tried. We have come right back out with this group of cars. And I mean, look at that, it's 7 of them nose to tail. Whoa, George Russell there. How slow do you want to be on the exit of the final corner, sir? That goes to showcase the amount of grip we've got over the AI right now. To the outside then of the Mercedes man backing towards that first corner. Actually not really able to do anything that time around. I'm so worried about losing my wing against that car. Not anymore, I'm not. Down the inside of turn 2. And we are up into 7th then. We've just got to keep picking off cars one by one towards the end of this race. Again, though, you just see the AI really struggling for understeer at that final corner, so we are now going to try and move past Verstappen. Still haven't even claimed fastest lap yet. Oh, that was a bit sketchy. Apologies, Max. Oh, that got the heart rate going a little bit there. I thought we were fully clear of the Red Bull, but we almost span ourselves off his front end. We will get past Oscar Piastri through that first couple of corners as well, but we could have been out of this Grand Prix late on, and it would have been completely my own fault. Oh, we're we're definitely not going to be doing that towards the end of the Grand Prix there, but what on earth is going on just in front? Leclerc, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, they're all wheel-to-wheel through the first couple of corners as we will make a move on Zhou Guanyu and relegate him a little bit further away from the podium places. But yeah, Ferrari, their current driver, well, both their current drivers, I guess, now in 2025, and their, well, former driver, but he's still their current driver inside this game. I don't really know. Either way, we got... Oh, no! Oh, Hamilton! Out of nowhere, Mercedes! That car going up in smoke, so Lewis Hamilton then is out of the Grand Prix. And suddenly now Leclerc has been given a lifeline here, because he's been able to get out of the DRS range of Carlos Sainz tonight. That has been 2 jump scares in 2 laps here. That is ridiculous. Sainz then, he's going to have no hope to try and defend himself here. No DRS off his teammate. And again, the DRS is super powerful because the wing angles are so high around this venue. Up into P2 then of the Qatar Grand Prix with just less than 5 laps to go. Charles Leclerc, I'm coming for you, buddy. I don't want to leave it to chance if I don't have to towards the end of this Grand Prix. If we get an opportunity to get past Charles, then we've got to try and take it there. Still, the traction at that final corner is like nothing else. Whoa, new fastest lap of the day. As Charles Leclerc there tries to throw a bit of a late block. But past him we will go then back into turn 1. Now we've got to try and get away as soon as possible there through turn 1 and turn 2. Open up the track width as best as we can. Drain the battery on the exit as we make our way up this short chute. Of course, it's a risky strategy if we don't get out of the DRS. And we're going to be in big, big trouble towards the end of the race. But for the first time in, well, a few laps, we've got some clear air as well. Purple through that first sector. And there we go. The gap to Leclerc up over a second. That is exactly what we need to see. Bit like Brawn GP then back in 2009. This season we started off so strong, but it has felt like an absolute limp towards the checkered flag here. I mean, as a team, obviously in Portimao, we finished last in DNF to wrap up the Constructors. For me, in Vegas last weekend, we DNF'd to win the Drivers' World Championship. It has been quite possibly the worst way ever to win a Formula 1 title inside this game. And the fact that up to this point, we have taken 4 wins all season in the previous 22 Grand Prix and still was able to wrap up the title with 2 races to go. It has been an utterly ridiculous campaign. And, well, like I said, I think it just sums up F1 24 in a nutshell. Just... It works, but not really in the way you would expect it to, and not very well. But that is, of course, a topic for another day. But I think by winning both those championships, by having both those trophies back in the cabinet at the factory, a curse has been lifted as we make our way through the final couple of corners here in Qatar. I really did think we were not going to win another race between now and the end of the campaign. We haven't won a race since Imola back in April. It is now December here in Qatar in our alternate F1 universe. Through the final corner though, finally we are back on top. It is P1 in Losail.
Yes, yes, guys, yes! Come on, boys! Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Not just victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had, and congratulations to the whole team.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field, and those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front, they really had to work for it today.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
Well, there we are then. Finally, we are back on top here in Qatar. And I'll be honest, secretly, I kind of thought if we can't win this one, then it's just not going to happen for us between now and the end of the year. But from 19th on the grid, we come through for P1. We took a bit of a gamble with the strategy, but we absolutely made it work there. Charles Leclerc comes through for P2. Zhou Guanyu did get to P3 on the very last lap as well, so a very good job done by him, ahead of Sainz and Oscar Piastri. Russell comes through for 6th, ahead of Norris, and then both Red Bulls ahead of Fernando Alonso to round out our top 10 as well. But after winning the World Championship, we get a big result, and we do it in style there. Just a shame that clearly we're not going to be able to see ourselves do donuts at the end of one race at the end of the year either. Having a look, though, at our championship standings, it's all but guaranteed now for Charles Leclerc, unless he has an absolute stinker in the season finale. He is walking away with P2 in the championship. Alonso looks pretty safe for 3rd ahead of Perez, who, again, looks pretty safe for 4th ahead of Russell. Norris is all but guaranteed 6th as well, so there's not really anybody fighting for anything towards the top of the order. Hamilton and Sainz still have got a battle on their hands. Verstappen and Tsunoda as well, only 2 points in between them. The same for Zhou Guanyu and Oscar Piastri as well there. 12 drivers have scored over 100 points this year. I absolutely love that stat as well. I just think that is so, so cool. More drivers have scored over 100 points than drivers that have scored between 1 and 100. 12 drivers have scored over 100 points. Only 5 have scored, but less than 100, which I think is wild. And then another 5 are failing to score points up to this point as well. Constructors-wise, though, 144-point lead. Ferrari pretty much, I think they have mathematically locked out P2 ahead of Mercedes there. Mercedes and Aston Martin, there could still be a change there. McLaren's safe in 5th. VCARB's safe in 6th. I think, yeah, pretty much everybody apart from Mercedes and Aston Martin is the potential for a switch around. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. I will be back either at the weekend or next week with the season finale here from this career mode. Again, what we do in the last to first challenge, we can let our hair down and we can have a bit of fun.